Hello and welcome to a Bergkamp Wonderland. It's us. Hello. Typically, Twitch just giving me a message saying Twitch says the title is invalid because I used the word bastard. Never mind. Life goes on. We're here for about an hour or so, and we're going to talk about some topics. I've actually made a list of all the things we're going to talk about. Unlike the last show that we did, where even when the show was going on, I had no idea what we were talking about. With me tonight, I've got Femi. How you doing, Fem?
I'm doing very well, Danny. How are you doing?
I am fat and I had McDonald's today because I had unbelievable nausea and it made me too ill to cook. But I only had triple cheeseburgers twice and a coffee. So, and I didn't eat the bread from one of the burgers. So it's all about the meat, baby. Talking about all about the meat, baby, we've also joined by Karl. God, that was a swift intro, wasn't it?
Does that make it a quintuplet cheeseburger? No, hold on. A sextuplet. A sextuplet cheeseburger.
I could barely get my gob round it.
And then next week you're going to tell me that you're only eating grapes and pilchards or something like weird like that.
Well, because Sean and her mum are buggered off for 3 weeks to Cambodia, I'm left on my own. So I get all sad, Karl, and I keep getting delivery from the co-op and I'll have all the sweets, chocolate and crisps that you can bring me. And then within a day of eating it, every part of my body aches and I can't move.
Someone said that's self-sabotage.
Yes, I'm not doing it again. Although we are going out for dinner on Sunday and they do amazing cakes. So I might have one then. But that's it till Christmas. And I mean it. Has anybody actually joined us in the chat or not? I'm just going to go and copy that and then tweet that. I forgot to do it. We have got BX is there and Phil is there. Lovely. Phil says, Danny, you don't need to make excuses if you fancy Mackey's. I hate McDonald's. I hate it. But I got my coffee for free because the idiot spilt it. Lovely. So it cost me 15 quid. 15 quid for a McDonald's for one person. I remember when that would be $1.99 for all you could eat. Oh, sad times. Right. Let's get on with this. Just talk about Femi. Were you at the Liverpool game? I know, Karl, you tried to get tickets for it, but you were there, weren't you, Fem?
I was there.
So the notes I've got, Saka's 50th Premier League goal, the quickest of a non-striker to 50 goals, but like Hente has tweeted earlier today, not the quickest Arsenal player to 50 top-flight goals. That was a man in black and white, who I can't remember his name. I've put Van Dijk's foul on Havertz and the double foul on Martinelli and being no pen. So what was the atmosphere like? What was the game like? And what for you are the most important talking points? Because you weren't happy when you got back, were you?
Yeah, I mean, the atmosphere probably drives that, isn't it? I actually lost my voice on Sunday. First time that's happened in a long time. Yeah, I think the Emirates crowd is now awake to referees. Let me put it like that. We're not the meek little. To be fair, Arsenal's never been that. Has it? From when I've been going to Arsenal, with the fancier injustice towards our team on the pitch, I've heard them boo for a whole half once. I can't remember what game it was. It might have been an Everton game. They booed for the whole half from 40, and that was. But yeah, the crowd was very, very alert to some of the funny 50-50s that don't go our way. Let's put it like that. In games, and they did make it very, very loud on Sunday. I'm still recovering my voice, if you can hear it, but yeah, it was loud to start with. Second half, yeah, I don't know. There is something about the way that we play that does suck a little bit of the energy out of the crowd as well, unfortunately. If I'm allowed to say that, by the way, because I know people don't like criticism, but I give praise and I give criticism on one hand. Or honesty, I'm not criticizing, I'm being honest.
How badly robbed were we?
I mean, not as much as usual, to be fair. The penalty was the penalty was probably the biggest shout, wasn't it? I mean, I keep seeing that. Oh yeah, he got the ball, but as far as I'm aware, anywhere else on the pitch, I've seen players get the ball, wipe out a player, and
is that Martinelli's one?
Yeah, and it's a free kick. So that definitely caused me a lot of like. I mean, you can't. Anywhere else on the pitch, the referee would have given a free kick for that. Even if you got the slightest, biggest touch on the ball. If you take the ball, I've seen players win the ball cleanly, take out a player, and then it's a foul. So for me, I don't understand why this one wasn't spoken about more. And it wasn't even like he tackled the ball and his follow-through took him out. He absolutely wiped he wiped him out. Like it was. Look at that. I mean, look at the way he landed.
Like
He
you can
absolutely.
see.
Yeah, go on.
See in this picture here, the player on the right, I think it's their centre back. He's going in with his right hip, and then Trent has got his leg wrapped round him, nowhere near the ball.
Yeah, that's all. Honestly, like we're if you don't get a penalty for that, for me, we're gonna struggle to get. We got like 9 penalties last season. We're in game 9, believe it or not. It doesn't feel like it. We've basically had no penalties this season. Yeah, it's sometimes it's those things that you think, yeah, it's a tough one. It's gonna be a long day.
Did you manage to get tickets to the game, Karl? I can't remember.
No, Femi failed me, innit? Like, he was moving mad.
He's done you dirty.
Yeah, failed me, innit? Like, he just doesn't like me anymore. It's always your own people. It's always your own people that do you dirty, innit? Like, but anyway.
From me, I'd
no,
let you
do
down.
you know what? Like, I'll talk about probably trying to get tickets later, because I think Femi knows as well. I think the whole ticket exchange thing is an absolute sham. And the amount of people on Twitter that are selling fake tickets, like, but there are good people on Twitter that you can go to find out if they're real or not. But anyway, we'll come to that later. Yeah, the game itself was, usually you get nervous when you play some of the big games. And by that, there's not many. It's probably just Man City and Liverpool, because I don't really see anyone else as a challenger, if I'm really honest. And I think there's always that cryptic message from Mikel, whether you thought that Saka was going to be available or not. You know, some people will say, "Oh, I knew he was going to be available," and some people say no. Like, some people say that he was fit from the midweek game, but we didn't play him on purpose just so we could sort of mess with Liverpool's heads, and maybe it worked a little bit. Also, just a little side note, caveat: people, if you're going to follow the Arsenal team around and go to the hotels and blah blah blah, let's try not tweet pictures of players in the team, because that just gives the opposition like a chance to know what the team is. It pisses me off, like, when people reveal the team like 3 hours before, but you know the opposition are watching for things like that. So, like, you know, when they go on
Saka and Timber thing photos?
Yeah, like when they go on walks and things like that, don't tweet pictures of the team. Like, it's just absolutely ridiculous. You're literally playing it into the opposition's hands of saying who's in the team. Like, it's just, I find that really frustrating. I think it's stupid. I think it's so ridiculous that.
Are these always Arsenal fans though?
It's always Arsenal fans. It's like they're trying to get one up on people. Like, oh yeah, look,
followers.
He's in the team. Like, just shut up, innit? Like, just don't tweet that.
Followers. I want to. Yeah, people do anything for followers now. Anyway.
Yeah, it's just so annoying. But anyway, I digress. So I think it was when Saka was in the team and Timber was in the team, that kind of gave us a little boost. So when I saw that, I was like, do you know what? Maybe we get a chance. I honestly think without them, you know, you're looking at the team and you're thinking, my gosh, who's going to play? And I think, you know, we came out strong. It was like a typical back and forth game. And then, like, when Saka scored, everyone was like, that's the reason why we love him so much. That's the reason why he's such a good player. That's the reason why he is our star boy. He's our best player. You know, we was, like, you know, really excited. And it was stupid for us to give the goal away, the header for Van Dijk. It was just, do you know, it was annoying, because we're conceding so many goals from set pieces lately, and I don't know why. Like, as good as we are attacking set pieces, we should be just as good as defending set pieces, and for some reason we're not.
Partey was just stood behind him and didn't jump with him.
Yeah, it's Partey, and I think it was also Havertz. Rice as well. Was it Rice or Havertz? I can't remember. Yeah, Havertz, just let him go.
That's the third time Havertz has been beat at the near post in recent weeks.
So that's got improved.
Yeah, Leicester, the header that the guy Justin scored, the one that flicked off of Havertz. The who did we play last week? Bournemouth, where he wasn't alert to that near post flick. And then this one as well, and I'm sure and Man City we let in a goal from a corner as well. So that's yeah.
Yeah, so that's something we have to improve on. Like, if we're going to be good attacking, we've got to be just as good defending. So yeah, and like, I felt like in the second half we kind of petered out a little bit. It's almost like we didn't believe in how good we was. Like, even if we kind of dominated the second half, I felt like we didn't believe in that we could go on and sort of win. And then when we got the goal from the set piece from Merino, like you thought, okay, this is our chance. This is our chance to go on. And then obviously Gabriel went off and we had to do a makeshift defense. And that defense that kind of finished the game was kind of like, oh my gosh. And and I know he's young and he's only his third game, I think. But Miles Lewis Skelly was out of position. Like he was attacking too much. Now I don't know if that was an instruction for Mikel Arteta to go high up the pitch, but I just felt like, if he was a little further back, maybe, that doesn't happen. But, swings and roundabouts, it is what it is. He's young. He's only his third game, I want to say. So I'm not going to criticize him too much. It is what it is. But on the whole, I think if we had our first team out, if we had like our full first 11, we're beating them hands up. There's no doubt. Look at the team that we finished with, and they just about got a draw. If we had our first team out, first 11, first line of defense, we're winning that. And just quickly, shout out to Thomas Partey. Like, genuinely shout out to him, because you could tell from the first half, Liverpool were targeting our right side. Every ball was going over to their right hands, our right, their left. Every single time they attacked. And Thomas Partey dealt with every single attack that Liverpool dealt with. So just want to say a quick shout out to Thomas Partey. He's improved over the last year. I want to say that he's fit, and that's the problem. Like, the problem was with him is he was never fit, and now he is, and you can see kind of he's playing right back, he's playing centre mid, playing defensive mid, and he's every challenge, every time he comes out on top. So I don't want to say he's playing for that new contract, a bit like Aubameyang did in his final year, and then like he signed his contract and then he just petered off. But if we do give him a new contract, which I'm not sure he will be given one, but if we do, it's kind of deserved at the moment, just as long as he's not a starter.
But then the thing with Partey is, I think what we're seeing now is, like you're talking about, his fitness. He's the back end of last season, he wasn't fantastic. He was decent, but now I think he's played into fitness, as in he's super fit now. This is the fittest he's probably been in a couple of years for us. And I was always of the belief that we're just such a better team with him. But I had lost that belief, towards the end of last season and the beginning of this season. I just thought he was just not good, especially his positioning and everything. But the last few weeks, he's been absolutely brilliant, like you said. And I mean, I'm not going to lie, when I saw his name at right back on Sunday, I was having like proper heart palpitations. I was like, oh my God. what? Because you just don't know because even against Shakhtar, the second half, I thought he was getting done quite a lot at right back from the Shakhtar player. So I thought, of course, Diaz is going to have him on toast. But fair play to him. He took Diaz out, and then Gakpo came on, and he got no change out of him as well. So you have to say, okay, there you go. Fair play.
He started all 9 Premier League games, and he's finished 7 of them. And one he came off after 84, and another one he came off after 85. Femi, talking about Saka, he was getting an absolute beating the entire game. Shoulder barged, hip barged, every kind of wrestling move you can think of, he was getting. And you would think, we've been unfortunate enough to see Beckham and Scholes and Harry Kane and all these other ones. They get mollycoddled by the referee. It's made very clear, you go and you foul them, they're going to get everything. Saka is probably, him and Jude Bellingham are the 2 best players for England at the moment. They're the future of the England team. They're both magnificent. Maybe Saka's even better. But he's not getting the protection that other players of his kind of stature who play for England and play in the Premier League get, is he?
Well, it's interesting that you say that, because one of the things that we always used to say is maybe Arsenal need more English players and we'll get better luck with referees. Because, isn't it? I mean, Tottenham just got so much. I mean, Harry Kane got absolutely so much luck with
even look at him funny and you'd get a penalty.
Exactly, yeah. And we don't seem to have that same luck. We're not getting a lot of Robert. I mean, Saka gets fouled everywhere though. When he plays for England, when he plays for Arsenal, it's just. And the worst thing I'll say is there was quite a couple of Liverpool players that kept fouling over and over again. I know Diaz was one. He kept fouling over. And he got no yellow card. He was persistently fouling. He got. I'm sure he had about 5 fouls, kicking the ball away, all of that stuff. It's like, okay, just keep doing what you're doing. And to be fair, Liverpool couldn't or didn't want to double up on Saka, which is what nearly every other team does. Which is, I mean, he's learned how to deal with that now as well, because at the beginning of last season, I think he struggled with, teams double and even triple teaming him, because as soon as he gets a ball, there's always the wide player, and then the centre mid comes and joins in to cover his space as well. But I think this season he's even learned to deal with that even as well. But Liverpool decided that, you know what, we're just going to leave Robertson on him one-on-one, and that's the one thing you don't want to do with Saka. If you leave him one-on-one with any defender, he will find a way. He's so intelligent. His gameplay is just
he made him look like a non-league player when he got past him for the goal, didn't it? It's hilarious.
Yeah, and it wasn't just the goal. He was getting past him constantly. It was a shame that our other forwards weren't really on the same wavelength in that first half, because he had Robertson on toast, But no, he what can you say about him? There's so many. I really hope we wrap him up in cotton wool for the whole week. Every week, because I'm still worried about his fitness. I think having a muscle. To be fair, we don't know what the injury was or how bad it was. To be fair, because Arsenal maybe they just gave him the week off and just thought we can handle Bournemouth and Shakhtar without Saka. Don't show him in any training pictures or anything like that. And maybe he's just been training, because that was his first sprint in the game and he absolutely blew past Robertson. So no, he looked good. But yeah, no, wrap that boy up in cotton wool. We need him. We need him desperately. We've all been saying for 2 summers now, where's our Saka backup? Where's our Saka backup? There's just no player in the world that you're going to get that's going to back this guy up.
That brings me to my next point I was going to give to you, Karl. Someone on the radio, it might well have been someone like Chris Sutton, said, it shows you how good a player is when 27-year-old Jesus, 29-year-old Raheem Sterling come in and they play in the same position and do almost nothing. That was such a good point, and it's so true, isn't it?
Listen, he's a special player. Us Arsenal fans have known that since he was, I don't know what, 19, 20. Like, he's just brilliant. And because there's no other player that can do what he does. There's no replacement for him. You can, like Femi said, you want to be able to give him a rest. And, there was time when, we would be like 4-5-0 up, and Mikel Arteta would still keep him on the pitch. And, there's us crying for him to, come off the pitch and have a little rest. And he wasn't doing that. I think now he's I think Mikel kind of probably knows now that, one, he needs to trust his squad, because, none of our players are invincible. Look at Odegaard being out and Saka being out. So, he needs to try to kind of trust, the players that he's brought in and believe in them. But, you are hoping that, you're hoping that all your players are fit for the whole entire season and they don't need a rest. But, what you don't want is Saka getting to like 27, 28 and just recurring injuries because he's played so much. You've got to kind of manage him from like this age. And like you said, there's no one in the squad that can do what he does. Like I'm a little bit shocked that Sterling didn't get on the pitch against Liverpool. Like, I am a little bit shocked at that. But do you know what? He might, obviously Sterling's going to play tomorrow or whenever you listen to this against Preston. But I thought he'd get more minutes, and that's what I was hoping, that the Sterling would be the kind of the Saka replacement, because he would then sort of come on the pitch and if we're winning a game like 2-0 after that 60, 70 minutes, take off Saka and Sterling will come on, and there's no kind of difference. But you can just tell that there is a difference, because Sterling, 29, 30, 31?
Sterling's 29.
Yeah, so obviously he's, still a good player, but he's not as good as he was when he was 25, 26, 27. So I can see that. But, like Femi said, we need to wrap him up in cotton wool a little bit and protect him a little bit more, because we're not going to get any protection from any referees, and opposition players are just going to kick him to shit, unfortunately. And, it's just something that we've got to deal with. And I think even Mikel Arteta said it, that he's just got to be tough. And sadly, you've got to be, because you're not going to get anything out of these corrupt, shitty referees.
Aberdeen fan there in the box. We have a lot to do with Aberdeen over the years. We shared Charlie Nicholas and Peter Nicholas, and Aberdeen are the only team in Europe that are unbeaten in all competitions. I think it's like 15 games unbeaten. I watch a bloke on Twitch who's an Aberdeen Arsenal fan, and he's over. The big game for them is, I think they're playing Rangers tomorrow, and hopefully you'll smash Rangers about 9-0. And although I'm a Celtic fan, I'd love to see Aberdeen win the league. The last tight team, other than Celtic or Rangers, to win the Scottish League was Aberdeen back in about 1985. Terrible. So everybody who cares about football should hope that Aberdeen do it. So hello, Aberdeen, Mike. Hope you do well this season. What else are we going to talk about? Karl, Femi's really had a little say on the Nelly thing. Do you want to say something quickly on that? And then I'm going to move on to the Kiwior foul with Femi.
I think the sad thing about that is just, and listen, I know it's conspiracy theory. I can hear like John in the background saying, "Oh, everyone gets it."
It does it every time.
I know it doesn't wind me up. I know it does. Like, I don't have it from him anymore. But like, I feel like if that's at this Manchester City Stadium, that's given as a foul, and they're getting it.
Yep.
I feel like they're going to get it. I know a whole lot of teams can say, everything goes against them. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if anyone's seen the West Ham Man United game. As much as I hate Manchester United, I can't stand them. That was never a foul. How West Ham got that penalty, I still don't know. So, it's not just us; it's other teams as well that just don't get the rub of the green. But it just seems like the same clubs over and over seem to get the rub of the green. The Tottenhams of this world, the Man Cities of this world, for some unknown reason, Liverpool's of this world, they just seem to just get the decisions that go for them. And I just feel like if that was on Haaland, that's a penalty. If that was on David Silva, that's a penalty. Like, and it's just ridiculous. Like the fact that VAR can say straight away, yeah, it's fine, and keep it moving. It's just like, did you really take a good look at that? Like, it's just annoying. And like I said, every club probably can say that they don't get decisions their way, but I don't care about any other club. I care about Arsenal, and Arsenal's the club that I support. And we just seem to, it's almost every week we seem to have an issue with referees. There's never a week that I can think to myself, oh, do you know what? The referee didn't get involved in there, or I have to complain about the referee. There's never a week where the referee can just do his job and just be like, yeah, do you know what? Even when we win, you're looking at referee's decision, you think, why? So, I don't know. It's the whole. We could have a 2-hour discussion on the PGM and the corruptness of the referees, and probably we might do one day. We might just do a podcast based on all the decisions that haven't gone our way. That's probably an idea, Danny. We should
amazing.
We should literally sit down and think about all the decisions that haven't gone our way and talk about them. Probably be a good podcast. But for now,
I just, as you were talking there, you were showing those stills. Something, and you said Man City, something popped in my mind, and I thought, let me go and watch the video. Sorry if it came through on the audio. Do you remember Saka against Bernardo Silva in that game? Where we were winning 1-0. No, we're winning 1-0 at the Emirates, and Bernardo Silva literally dived over Xhaka's leg, clipped him, his thigh or something. Just Google it anyway. Anyone that's watching, I'm sure people remember that tackle, and we ended up losing the game 2-1. We absolutely battered them. That's the game that Gabriel got sent off when we were winning 1-0.
Oh, when he backed up into the on the halfway line,
and he got a yellow card for kicking the penalty spot, and then he got one on the halfway line. But yeah, I remember Xhaka's tackle in that game and thinking, look at this Liverpool tackle and compare it to that, and it's all those little things. But you know what? I think what it is every team most teams in this league are victim of rubbish referees. some teams like Man City, especially, they get nothing given against them. Absolutely not. If they get something given against them, you're shocked. Then you get teams like Liverpool who get favoritism, and then you get teams like Arsenal. And I can't think of many teams that I think the referees just go hard on us. Let me put it in the nicest way. They go extra hard on us. And I think there must be some reason why it's happening. I don't know if it's because of Arsene Wenger. I don't know if it's because of Arteta and what he did say at Newcastle last year, because things have gotten even worse since then. So we just seem to have this weird. Well, you talk about that red card now. I'll talk about the home game. Yeah, the Xhaka and Man City have got a history. By the way, Xhaka finished 16th in Ballon d'Or yesterday,
Shocking.
which was a shock to me. But yeah, I mean, his team did well, didn't they? But
they did indeed. Karl, I'll get. I think you said Kimi. I'm looking at the word Kiwior. I'll get Femi's thoughts on this after. This, for people at home on the bus, walking the dog and having a poo, this is because we can't show videos on here anymore, because when we do, we get our podcast banned and deleted off of YouTube. So I've done 4 frame-by-frame pictures that I took from the video, and you can see the first one is Kiwior looking up behind. Who was it? Who was up behind? Who is that player?
Szoboszlai.
Yeah, of course it's number 8. And the second one, Kiwior jumps up about in the air, puts his right hand on the shoulder of Szoboszlai. I'm never going to say that right, as the ball comes down. And then the third picture, the ball's still, I think he's headed the ball, and then he's got his bum above his head. And then a fourth one, Karl, that's the one where it shows that Szoboszlai, again, said wrong, it isn't really fouled. He's just bent over a little bit as Kiwior goes to the floor. The ball then goes over to Havertz. Havertz has a shot, hits the post, and it comes back out, and Jesus runs in to try and put it in the back of the net. And the referee waited, not at the moment of the foul, not the moment of the clearing the ball, not the moment when Havertz had his shot, but when it came back out and Jesus was about to put it in, that's when the referee blew his whistle for a foul that happened about 10 seconds beforehand. What's your thoughts on that, Karl?
I don't just be surprised. I don't think it's a foul. My issue with that is if they both jump at the same time and Kiwior beats him to the header, it's not a foul because Kiwior beats him to the header. What's happened is he's gone up, and what's happened is, Harry Kane was a master at this. Mm-hmm. He backs into a player and then you bend over. So, I mean, when you're jumping like that, look, you're putting your hand as support on the defender, because no one jumps no one can get proper leverage jumping up with their hand to the side. So your hand straight down. You jump up with your hand to the side, and it's human nature to put your hand on. If you're jumping, you're gonna put your hand on something to support you. It's not so. What Szoboszlai has done, he's backed into him and bent over. So when he lands, he's going to land straight on his own back. I mean, Harry Kane, I don't know if you remember, he was literally a master. Harry Kane used to do it so many times. He'd back into someone, like not go for the header, and then somehow Harry Kane would get the foul.
So is that what Szoboszlai did in the game? He backed into...
If you look at it, he backs into him, because that's why he's bent over.
Yeah.
So I just think it's just nonsense. And
I didn't think
I'm going to be biased, but no one in the world thought that was a foul apart from the referee. And it's just once again, I just feel like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm going to be really honest here. When the referee blows the whistle, everyone stops playing. So I'm not going to say that Kanote would have got into the box and got the rebound before Jesus. We don't know that. The only thing I will say is if play had carried on, you don't know what would have happened. But I just think it's just ridiculous once again. And it's not a foul when even some of the pundits on Sky Sports are saying, I don't understand how that's a foul. And they are the most biased people against Arsenal in the world. I was watching, for some other reason, whenever there's controversial decisions, as normal with Arsenal games, we're always on ref watch on Sky Sports, always. Every week we make an appearance on Ref Watch. And Dermot Gallagher, professional referee of how many years, his explanation of it is sometimes you give them, sometimes you don't. And you're like, what? That's an explanation that you're saying. Sometimes you give them, sometimes you don't. Even Mike Dean, during the game, Mike Dean was like, oh, well, the referee's had a good game, so, you can ignore that. And you're like, so hold on. So because you've had a good game means that you should be able to get one shit decision wrong. Like, no, that's not what it is. That's how you know it's a referee's club. I mean, do you know what? They're going to stick up for their friends. So be it. I hear it. Do you know what I mean? It is what it is. However, like, the fact that they have a referee commentating within a game just goes to show you how much Sky are in bed with the PGMOL, because they need backing during the game for the decisions. I think it's just ridiculous. And for me, it's just not a foul. I don't understand that. There's supposed to be what they say is lately, there's a higher tolerance for fouls, apparently. But these higher tolerance doesn't only matters when it's against Arsenal. Like, I just don't understand why that's giving us a foul.
Femi, being at the game, it must have been no one knows what's going on and you're all frantically checking your phones and then everyone else is 7 seconds behind you. So what was the situation like at the ground? Did anybody have any idea why it was disallowed? Because that would have been a magnificent goal. It was a magnificent goal.
No, of course we didn't. I'll be honest with you, like, the experience in the stadium, like, half the time I'm texting the group saying, was he offside?
What's happened?
Yeah, what's happened? What's happening? Is he offside? What did they say on a replay? Like, all this VAR stuff is insane. Like, you're just sitting there wondering. And that by the way, the goal that we scored, that they was offside for it took like 4 minutes to decide whether he's offside or not. I don't even know how long it took. And I'm just sitting there texting the group, is he offside? And then obviously you guys are like, well, I think he is, but maybe he's not. Oh, yeah,
I need answers, and I need them now.
And I'm the idiot going, oh, I think he's off, to everyone that's sitting around me, and they're looking at me like, oh no. And then Karl will go, nah, he's definitely on. He's definitely on. And we're still sitting there for 2 minutes waiting for an answer. It's crazy.
It's infuriating because the
Yeah,
Emirates, they don't show the whole game live, do they? Because when we were playing Bournemouth, they showed the whole game live on the
I don't understand
Jumbotrons.
that, by the way. Some teams on their Jumbotron, you're right, show the whole game. And a lot, like, we've never showed the whole game, even from the Highbury days. Yeah.
I wonder why that is.
I don't know. But they definitely, and anytime there's a controversial decision, see, Arsenal play by the rules a lot, by the way, because I'm pretty sure a lot of these stuff might be in the rule, because whenever there's a controversial decision, Arsenal don't show replays. Have you noticed that, Karl?
Yeah, they never ever do.
They never show replays. Never ever do. Even the goal that we scored the other day that was offside, they didn't show the angle of the offside. They showed the free kick from behind Declan Rice taking it. They always do that because they apparently feel like, oh, if they show the replay, it will incite the crowd. I don't know what they're gonna do. Like,
yeah, but maybe they want that. They want us. They should get us on side. So
I've seen them do that once. I've seen them only once. I've ever seen them do that, where they show the offside goal, the proper angles, and it was given as onside. That was before VAR, by the way, and the crowd went absolutely mental and started throwing their £15 chicken burgers on the pitch.
I'm just messaging Simon to see if he knows.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. But I guess my issue is, Femi, like you, do you feel like it was 2 points dropped rather than a point gained? Because I just feel like, you know, they were there for the beating, and I feel like if we had a full strength squad, we definitely would have beat them. So it's kind of
I mean, that does take me onto the way that we also are handling these games. I know we're depleted. It is scary that we're depleted, but we're trying to see out games in some instances. When it must be so hard being a manager, because what you said earlier, Karl, about us, one of the few times that we decided to abandon our defensive shape, they score. That's one of the only times that we did push our left back a little bit higher, a little bit ahead of Salah. Rest of the time, especially when it was Timber, he was touch tight or right near Salah. I don't blame the players because it's probably instructions: keep it tight, and then in the last 10 minutes, let's try and hit them on the break regularly. And I'm guessing no one expected Martinelli to lose the ball in that position, to be honest with you, because that was a disastrous way to lose the ball. He had so many things he could have done to let even something that would help the team get set defensively or against a counter, like run the ball a little bit wide. But every time he saw Konate, he just absolutely just
got scared. Yeah,
he just pissed himself. Like it was just amazing to watch. I don't understand what was going on, but we do need to watch the way that we defend Leeds. I mean, when we got Saliba and Gabriel and a decent left back, maybe a Timber and Ben White, I can see us doing that as a plan. But to lose, we just don't have control of games like we did last season, and it's a little bit worrying, because one of the things that we were good at last season was we didn't give a lot of chances away, if you see what I mean, but not from teams just constantly just being given the ball and saying, "Oh, come and break us down." It was more like we just kept the ball and territory. We used to be like, "Oh yeah, look at our territory," and all the stats were like, "Oh, Arsenal's field territory is the best in the league." We kept the ball in their half, and I don't know what's changed or why we're doing this. Maybe it is because of injuries. Maybe it's because of Odegaard being missing. Maybe it's the balance of the midfield. But Merino and Rice, they played well, but they didn't have any control of the game at all. Like I don't know, man. I don't know what it is about the way that we're playing these halves or when we go ahead that. For me, it's quite hard to watch. It was like we're playing with 10 men again the other day. I kept saying that. I was like, oh, we're just going to concede because we're giving up too much of the ball. And, when you do it we did it a few days before against Shakhtar and everyone said, oh, it's because we were tired. Fair enough. But then when you go and do it against a better team, eventually they're going to score. That's just how it works. We did it against Man City. No matter how well we played in that game, at the end of the day, eventually they scored. And, we just have to be a little bit careful of just not losing control of games. I don't mind us, teams, trying to break us down, but we have to, when we get the ball, we have to be able to keep it for 5, 10, 15, 20 passes to then push them back and make them worry about something. But the way that we're playing now, the opposition have nothing to worry about in halves. And
you
I just don't
being
think
at home with 6'1" Partey and Rice and Mikel both being 6'2", all three of those in the middle of the pitch, you think, well, go 1-0 up, no one's getting past us. But I'm not overly pleased with Merino. Oh, I'm going to mess his name up.
I thought, you know what? It's not that Merino played bad. I'll still give Merino. I mean, he's a new player in the league. Let's be honest. Although he played for Newcastle, have you seen his interview that he gave the other day? He was talking about the pace of the league is really hard. He's going to take some time to adapt. I think we also have to remember that, when you get players that are coming from a slower league, a league with less. We've seen players take months to adapt at Arsenal, and it's not like he played bad. He played
right in.
Yeah, he played quite well, but yeah, like I said, he's been thrown in at deep end. He's had no preseason. This is only his second start. Let's not forget that. And we're in what, nearly in November. It's his second start. So his fitness has got to get up there. It's just that control thing. I know some people are saying in the first half we were in total control. In the second half, I'm reading a comment. Look at this one that you got here. Okay, I can't remember Raya needing to make a save. Yeah, but we let in a goal though. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter whether Raya needed to make a save or not, because we gave up so much territory in the game. Eventually, when you're playing good teams, they're gonna get one chance. Just like the other night against Shakhtar. Shakhtar did nothing. They just had the ball. We kept defending them. Did they not have a chance at the end that Raya had to make a save with his wrist? Imagine that had gone in. You would have felt, we would have all sat there and said, what the hell did we do for that whole second half? Do you see what I'm saying? When you're playing against good teams, they might not need 10 chances. Man City, when they were playing against our 10 men, they ran out of ideas. But guess what? Eventually, the pressure told. Like you have to find a way to keep control of the ball. Like it's all well defending deep, like, but keeping control of the ball is another way of defending, is another way of pushing them back as well, is another way of telling them you can't just come to our ground and dominate us like that, because that's what we were doing to teams last season. We just went to every ground and we sat in their half, and it just pissed the crowd off so much.
True, it did. Just one quick thing before we move on. Tosin for Liverpool. Was that Liverpool or no? Tosin plays for Chelsea. That's Tosin bringing down a Liverpool player on that position there. And look, that's where Saliba's one was there against Bournemouth. So as we know, Saliba got sent off. Tosin didn't get sent off. And then Mickey van der Ven here, middle of the pitch, no one anywhere near them, pulls the bloke down, and the referee says that's not a red card because the Crystal Palace player was running to the corner flag. Karl, can you make sense of any of that?
Yeah, no. And I think we will do like a refereeing being shit in the Premier League podcast one day. Like, we're going to do it soon. But I just think that, and this is the sort of shit things that go on, and we moan about the referees being against us, and then people say that we're idiots, and they're not. And then you see decisions like literally after another. Do you remember? It's like, do you remember when Rice got sent off for the kicking the ball away, and then it happened like almost the next week, and the player didn't get sent off, and then it happened to Trossard. And then, like, it happened again the next week, and nothing happened. And you just like, you're doing this on purpose. And the problem is now, it does seem like they did it on purpose, and they just constantly get away with it. Like, I don't understand. There's this guy on Twitter, I think you must follow him, Femi. Dan something another. He works with ESPN. Who does the VAR? Oh, he's a excuse my language. He's a fucking idiot. Like, genuinely, because I am, because I always read that what he does, he kind of does the controversial VAR decisions for the week. Like, was it a penny? What it's not. I don't think this guy's ever not sided with the PGML. He's never not sided with the VAR.
Even I think he has access to PGL, to the VAR people.
It's just ridiculous.
Dale.
Yeah. Because even, I mean, we haven't spoken about it, but I'll do it quickly. Van Dijk on what's it called? Van Dijk on Havertz. Like, if that's I always do the rule of if that's Granit Xhaka. If that's Granit Xhaka, they look at that and they send the referee to the monitor. I'm 125% certain that Xhaka gets sent off that. So why does Van Dijk seem to get away, be kicking out our players? And then, like, you go to that Dale person, like, and he's like, oh, well, he was a little bit lucky, but he didn't reach the threshold of a red card. There was no ball involved, and he kicked our player. What more do you need? Like, I don't understand. Even about the foul, he was like, oh, if you look at one angle, it looks like Konate's knee reaches the ball. But if you look at another angle, it doesn't. So what does that mean? VAR has different angles to everything. It just makes no sense whatsoever. And this is why I think it's just corrupt as fuck. Until they make VAR, the audio, available to people at home that you can listen to, it's always gonna be controversial, because there is no reason why it can't be made official. Instead of, I don't know if you know, Femi and Danny, that the Premier League want to introduce these 3 new things: either a camera in the dressing room, a interview with a manager or a coach at halftime, or interview with the subs at when they get subbed off in the game. That's not what we want. Nobody wants that. What we want is audio from the VAR so we can hear what the fuck they're saying. That's what we want. But they won't do that, will they? Because it's just controversial as hell. And I just think it's nonsense. But anyway, we're not talking about. We will do that podcast one day, like people about refereeing decisions, and you can make up your own mind. But I just feel like we gave it up to Liverpool, and we could have easily beat them. And at the moment, we haven't played with our strongest team this season so far. Unfortunately, like Femi said, we're in November. Well, November's in like 2 days, and we haven't played with our strongest squad yet. And the day's coming, and we will, and hopefully we'll get more control, because you want to see that midfield of Merino, Odegaard, and Rice, just to see what happens. You want to see Calafiori, Timber, Gabriel, and Saliba. You want to see that defense. You want to see if a team can actually break it down, and see how we play with that defense. Because or Ben White, even, I don't know, like who plays at right back. But you want to see just how good we can be. And until such time, and this is no excuse, because it's very rare that a team plays with a full strength squad week in, week out. It's just one of those things. I mean, you look at Man City now with not playing with the Ballon d'Or winner, Rodri. He's out for the season, so teams have to deal with injuries all the time, and it is what it is. It just so happened that this season our injury just seemed to be a lot compared to last season. I mean, we could probably go into detail about Tomiyasu, which I'm the kind of done with him now, because it's just ridiculous with him. And the problem is people saying, just sell him. Sell him to who? Start trying to sell Kieran Tierney. Like, who are you going to sell him to? Like, just ridiculous. So these people.
How many left backs have we got at the squad now? We've got about 5 or 6 international left backs.
It's telling, because Femi mentioned it yesterday, is that Miles Lewis-Skelly got on the football pitch before Zinchenko twice now. Yeah. So that's telling, done. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we really need to stop burning players. I'm sorry, but we have to stop doing that. We're paying this guy a lot of money, and now he's just another Cedric, basically. Just
another cancellation upcoming.
And this is the problem, because we're not playing him. Teams you can't sell him because you can't sell him for the price that we want, because teams are going to be like, well, we know you don't want him because you don't pay him. So
20 years we've had that.
Yeah, we'll offer you 5 million for him, and we're going to hold on to him. His contract's going to run out, and then he's just going to leave for free. You can just see it a mile off. So it's just ridiculous. Like Femi was saying, with burning players.
We haven't played with Odegaard since basically he only played 2.5 games this season, because he got injured against Brighton when that guy literally kicked. That was another tackle, by the way. Kicked through the ball and went through his ankle, and the guy didn't even get it. Do you remember that? And then he was basically injured for that whole game. So basically, we've had him for 2.5 games, and that was in August, and we haven't seen him since. So I think we forget that without our probably one of our best players.
But he'd be fit for the international break, though, Femi. That's all that matters, because Norway want him.
I mean, they did ask Arteta about him today, and he said might resume training before the international break. But I don't know, man. It's just crazy. It's just sad that we have such hard games. Otherwise, I would have just said, just let him not play, because they were trying to take him. I mean, you've got Calafiori, another left back. Now last week Arteta was playing little games. They're saying he's out for a few weeks now. That's an absolute disaster.
Oh, the thing is, when Arsenal say a few weeks, it
could be
probably a bit more than that. It's probably a little bit more than a few weeks.
Hoping after the international break we can get some players back, but we're gonna have to send some players away again. And it seems every time we have this break, players just get injured. And if you notice, it's all the players that are injured are mainly the ones that go away on the international breaks. The ones that are here, it's quite funny actually. The ones that are here not going away on international break, they're not getting injured, but they're not getting played either. It's quite a weird one. And then you've got Kieran Tierney's back in 2 weeks. That came out of the press conference today. That was
But
quite interesting.
the Twitter talk of Tierney is he'll have his contract cancelled in January and be back off to Celtic.
Should not do that. Why?
That's £27 million down the drain.
Make
player.
Make them pay, even if it's a loan fee, and pay his wages. Like, if don't cancel his contract. Well, let's see, man. Let's see what happens. The injury updates today were a bit vague again. They kind of gave us hope, but I'm just not hopeful. And especially when you get players that are now coming back from injury, and because Arteta's being so vague about it, it's like, are they fully fit? Are they not? Like,
Eduardo Hagen said today, Mikel Arteta confirms Gabriel's injury is not serious and Jurrien Timber is not injured at all.
Okay,
is that mind games?
I listened to the press conference. What he said was, he did say, okay, it's not as serious as we first thought. That's what he said. He's getting better every day. And then they did ask him, when is he likely to be back? And Arteta did say, I don't know yet. So we've got to be a little bit careful with the wordings. Like last week, Arteta was hinting that Calafiori might have a chance for Sunday. So I just want to be careful with these players, because I don't know what's going on with our injury news, because it's just so vague. It's like, are they fit? Are they not?
The modern way, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
don't give anything away.
Timber is literally sometimes just, I mean, you watch him, you're like, by 70 minutes, you're like, Jesus Christ, is this guy going to pull his hamstring or thigh? He's going to have
Him and Saka were struggling so much in the last game.
Yeah, is he going to have
had no choice but to carry on.
Yeah, so you're basically, and I remember this time last year, Newcastle, they were getting loads of injuries, and then they were like players that then they'll get one player back and one player will get injured. And that's what seems to be happening to us, because it's like our players are not fully fit. So we have to, and there's no winter break this year, by the way.
No 5 days away.
And in December, I counted the games between.
Let me guess, you've got 30 games in 28 days.
Between November and the 3rd of December, I think there's 12 games. And
they're not going to be happy until they kill someone.
Yeah,
but the problem is, this is when. Go on, sorry, Penny.
No.
I was saying this is when he needs to start trusting his squad. So when we're playing the likes of, I don't know, let's say we got an Ipswich or someone in that sort of game, don't start Saka, play Sterling, start Nwaneri. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, these are the times where you need to trust your squad completely. I mean, have them on the bench. So if you need them, bring them on. I have no doubt. But this is when Arteta has to trust the squad, and at the moment we have a relatively small squad.
It's relentless.
What people said.
We've had kids on the bench all season. Like from game one, we've had at least 2 or 3 kids who they'll never come on in a Premier League game. And sometimes it's 4 or 5 kids and then obviously then you've got Ethan and Miles, who are now considered first team because they will get on, but you've got random kids just on the bench.
Yeah,
if you look at the Champions League, you got a name even more subs, so you always have even more kids on the bench in the Champions League.
Because the squad is tiny. Our squad, I don't understand why our squad is so small. Like, it really is. Like, I said this, and I'm gonna die on this hill. We should never have got rid of Emile Smith Rowe ever. Or at least not get rid of Smith Rowe and get rid of Vieira. That's just ridiculous.
He's their best player.
It's just ridiculous. But
I don't know. It's like I don't know. Maybe it is the fact that we've had players fit for 3 seasons, and maybe I don't know what it is, but it's just like thinking about the games that are coming. Even in the next week, you're looking Newcastle away, Inter away, and Chelsea away. That's a crazy schedule. Like,
if you include Preston, that's 4 away games in a row.
4 away games in a row, a lot of travelling, and fit, trying to get players fit. But those 3 games are really going to push the squad again. So, we just have to hang in there until we get I think we've got like a run of relatively easier games coming up. But this league it's never really 100% easy, is it, in this league?
I was having this conversation today with one of my friends. So we're playing Preston North End away tomorrow, which is what? Manchester, you might sort of say, Preston. there or thereabouts. And then we've got Newcastle. Then we've got Newcastle away Saturday lunchtime, haven't we?
Yeah.
Like, are we going to stay up there? Because you're talking about traveling. Would it not make sense just to stay up there and then because you think so you're up there Wednesday, and then you have to come. If let's say you come back down on the same day, would you fly? Maybe fly from Manchester.
They'll fly.
But then I was thinking, why would you not just stay up there? There's no way you couldn't find a training ground up there to train on and just stay
65
in the hotel.
miles away, Karl.
Yeah, but I think it's also the fact that it's 4 away games in a row and 1 in Italy as well. So they've got Inter on a Wednesday, which I'm going to be going to, actually. I'm traveling for 1 day to Italy. Imagine that. 1 day trip.
Are you going on your own?
No, 4 of us are going. Got 4 tickets.
That'll be. Have you been to the San Siro before?
I haven't. I'm watching the game now.
Absolute shithole.
Oh man!
As an Inter fan, it hasn't changed much since it was redone for the '86 World Cup. '86,
yeah,
88.
I'm watching their game now. Yeah, so we'll be traveling in them. We're actually traveling in the afternoon. Hopefully, there's no delays, and then traveling back early doors in the morning. No hotel, nothing. Just gonna.
Are you riding out? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sleeping on a park bench somewhere.
Exactly.
Let's move this on a little bit. Are you staying, Femi, or have you still got to go?
I can stay for 20 minutes.
Oh, okay, good. I'll start with you with this one, Femi, because it's something you and me have been, and I don't know if Karl's been tweeting it, I'm sure that he has. The subject of Arteta I've written down. Does Arteta get enough credit for this being his first managerial job, fighting for the title in what will probably be 3 consecutive seasons, plus the FA Cup, and he's won 2 Charity Shields as well? How many other managers have been this successful at such a young age in their first job?
It's quite interesting because on in his press conference today, they put that silly thing that Jamie Carragher said about him being like Jose Mourinho, more like Mourinho than Pep, I think. He's more like Mourinho.
Was that a tweet that Carragher deleted? Or
No. He said it. He
said
said it
on Sky.
On Sky.
Yeah, okay.
So they put it to Arteta, and he just said, he basically said, no comment. He just said, I'm just myself. And people just keep sending me stupid memes of, oh, Erik ten Hag won this many trophies and Arteta's done this. And I'm just like, why is it always Arteta? Why did they need to compare him to everyone? Why did they always need to come for him? What is it that about this man?
It's the same reason why they compare every young player to Saka. Every young player is compared
Arsenal?
to
Is it
Saka.
Arsenal? Like,
yeah, of course it is.
Like, it's so crazy. It's like, don't go pick on another manager that has done nothing in their whole career. Like, I don't understand. Like, I just don't get it. It's like, oh,
we could go and pick on this manager, Femi.
Well, there you go. Whoa, there you go. Like, by the way, this is Nuno, who got sacked after 10 games because he won 5 and lost 5, and this is Big Angie's current record right now. Which, actually, if you stretch Big Angie's record to, I think, from about December last year, they're basically one of the lower half teams of the Premier League.
Read what it says, Femi, for the people at home and on the bus.
Oh, sorry. It's Nuno had 10 games played. Nuno Espirito Santos, this is, who got sacked after 10 games. He had won 5 and lost 5 with a win percentage of 50%, and he got binned for Conte, I think it was.
Yeah.
And Ange's record this season is played 9, won 4, lost 4, drawn 1, with a win percentage of 44%.
Swearsy.
Yeah, I know. It's and he's so rude. The way he talks to the media, like, it's so weird. Like, the media perceive something that Arteta is not. It's like they project something they want him to be. He doesn't talk rude to them. He's only blown up or been angry a couple of times, I would say, in 5 years, like you said. He doesn't make excuses for defeats. He doesn't make excuses for injuries. He gives them access to himself. He answers majority of questions, unless it's stupid questions that he won't answer. And he never rude. He doesn't look down when he's, like all these things that I see other people doing. And it's like, they just go, oh yeah, look at him. Oh, he's stepping out of his box again. Oh my God, he's can't control himself, so his team can't. Oh, he never sits down. I'm like, am I watching something else? Because when Emery was doing that at Arsenal, Emery was more crazy on the touchline than Arteta is. Like, that's the honest truth. And he's still crazy at Aston Villa. But why does he not get the same treatment? I don't get it. What is it about Arteta that robs the English media, English fans, English ex-players? I know what robs the ex-players up the wrong way. We all know that because a lot of them are failed managers. And they want to see him fail. But it's really, for me, it's triggering because I just try and stay away from it now because all this stuff with Arsenal and rival fans, for me, I don't get it. It's weird. It's weird. It's really, really weird. But like someone said, on the Emery, we weren't getting all of this. And then
because we were rubbish. It's because we were not playing good football and we were a bad team. So we wasn't a challenge. And now we're challenging Man City and we're getting there or thereabouts, and they don't like it. That, you know, the likes of Liverpool who are just rubbish, the Tottenham, who are the media darlings, they can't do nothing wrong, and because they're not challenging, they're just seen as nothing. Because we're challenging and we have a massive fan base. So you got to remember that everything that people say about Arsenal in the media generates hits and clicks. We have a huge fan base. Like, it's absolutely massive, especially online as well. So, you know, someone will come up with something stupid and it's going to generate loads of hits and clicks to their website, to their page. So that's another reason.
But do you have to be stupid though? Like, do they have to be stupid? Like, for example, I was watching the Sky thing coverage, end of game coverage on the way home, and I'm hearing what's his name? I was listening to Van Dijk's interview where he's saying they only have 2 players injured, whatever he said, that stupid comment that he made, and then Theo Walcott was going on about, oh yeah, but they only had two.
Liverpool fan,
and then he
Theo
was like,
Walcott.
they only have 2 players injured, and I'm like, did you do any research before you even spoke? Do you know who came back from injury? Do you know who's been on? Like, what is it about these people? Like, these people get, like you're saying with Dermot Gallagher, whatever his name is, they actually pay them to do this job. If they paid us to do this job, I guarantee you, I would know everything about Brentford before they played, and I was doing punditry. I would have listened to Brentford fans podcast to understand their fans' point of view, to understand what's actually going on.
Like Tom Canton and Harry Seymour and our very own Simon, the notes they make each game, pages and pages of notes. It's like you were saying, it's like Theo's just taken off his Liverpool shirt and scarf, put on a normal shirt, and then turned up and gone, right, what are we talking about then? They all do it because they get away with it.
They come with pre-agendas to games that we're watching. It's like, we're not stupid. We're Arsenal fans. We know the product that we're watching. We know why we feel a certain way about certain things. You can't tell us what and then they hammer home. Like, if you watch Arsenal matches, they'll hammer something home. I haven't watched the Sky coverage. I only watched that end of game stuff. But I guarantee you, if I go and watch the coverage, I'll know what their agenda for Arsenal was on that day.
Yeah, it was a must. It was a must. You must not lose game.
Thank you.
That's what they were saying. They were saying, you know, no matter, even if, because they were saying it from midweek. You know, even if they got players out, they've got to win this game. It's a must-win game. They have to. Blah blah blah. Liverpool, you know, Liverpool almost got a full-strength squad. They've got to go there and win. When Liverpool drew, and we've got players out, that all went out the window, and they turned to gender to, oh, they've only got 2 players out. So before the game, it was, you know, even with all their players out, Arsenal have got to get a result. Then Arsenal got the result, and then the agenda changed to they've only got 2 players out. So that you can see what the agenda is from day dot. And this is the problem when you have a Man United pundit, when you have a Man United ex-player as their lead pundit, then you've got a Liverpool ex-player as their second lead pundit. That's it. This is why Adam Smith very rarely, or if any, commentates on any Arsenal games ever. You very rarely, and you get like Danny was saying, you got Liverpool fan Theo Walcott, who is almost like he's trying to make a name for himself. So, and in order to make a name for yourself in the media, you've got to say something controversial. You can't talk sense. You've got to be controversial because people will talk about you, which generates more hits and clicks for their website, so that company, whether it's Sky, BT, whoever, would employ you. That's what it is. You have to be controversial.
By the way, Theo Walcott, I don't have a problem with Theo Walcott as an ex-Arsenal player, but if he wants to be a pundit, let me tell you something. He's not impressing me personally. Do you know who impresses me more than Theo Walcott? Daniel Sturridge does impress me more than Theo Walcott because he actually sounds like he's... pardon?
Better dresser too.
He actually sounds like he's done a bit of research. Theo Walcott, as far as I've been watching him as a pundit, he just says the same things that has been repeated over and over and over. It's like we can watch these guys and I can tell you going into a game, they come out with cliches. They come out with, this is good. They say the same things all the time. Like, I can do their job. I promise you, if I was famous, I could sit in that studio and literally do exactly what they're doing. You know, there's no analysis of anything that's more than just, and they've played the game. He just retired. So some of this, I would expect more from players like that. I would expect a bit more, not the dinosaur mentality of, oh yeah, well, Alex Ferguson used to tell us to, this is not that era anymore. Anyway,
yeah, but it's like Rudy said on here. There's some podcasters out there who are much better about talking about a certain subject about a club than some of these people. Just because you played the game doesn't make you an expert in the game. I'm sorry, it's the actual truth. Like it's mostly who gets attention. Like there are players, ex-players don't always make the best pundits, and it seems that in order for you to get onto Sky or someone like that, you have to be an ex-player because it seems about, oh, if you play the game, you must know all about the game. Theo Walcott, you can tell he just turns up and, you know, they obviously Sky will give you talking points. They'll give you notes and they'll say, you know, this has happened. Like, oh, we're going to mention this. Like I said, the agenda from Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher was like from the midweek, you could tell it was Arsenal, even though Arsenal's injuries and their players that are not playing because of red cards, they have to win this game. And then, like you said, it just switched when we got the result because there's no way they thought we was going to get a draw or even win. They all thought we was going to lose. And when we didn't lose, it was a problem because, you know, the agenda has now switched. And that was the issue. So, and they were saying, like, you could tell, like, do you remember when we got when Saliba got sent off against Bournemouth? They were saying, even with 10 men, you still got to try and win the game. Even with 10 men, you got. So you could tell what it was. You could just tell what it was. Like, they just wanted to just get us down. And every time they think they can get us down, we pull out a result. The same way as that when we went to Man City and we was 2-1 up at half time before the red card, and they were all gobsmacked because they thought, oh shit, like, you know, they're Arsenal winning. They thought we was all going to lose, and then it held out, and it was until the last kick of the game, 98th minute, and then we conceded because they were all the agenda all switched. And then it all switched to, oh, Arsenal can't play football. They played negative football. You're playing against arguably the best team in the world, trying to protect a lead. What do you think we're going to do? Come out and like spray the ball around? It's just ridiculous because even Theo Walcott was jumping on that as well, saying, you know, Arsenal played negative football, and that's when Dark Arts FC came out, which was just, it actually made me laugh, actually, Dark Arts FC. But you're right. It's just always an agenda against Arsenal for some reason, and you know, obviously the media have been told not to talk about these 115 charges against Man City because no media outlet mentions it. Not one at all mentions it. And it's just, you just can tell they've been told not to mention it at all, like nothing whatsoever. So, you know, we are where we are with Arsenal, and all we can do as supporters of Arsenal is keep supporting the club. You know, people are always going to see something controversial online and react to it, but that's what these people want. They want you to react to these controversial things, so it gives them hits and clicks and brings more traffic to the page, so they can charge more for advertising. And they can say, "Oh, look! In this week alone, we've had 120,000 people on our page, so you need to give us more money for advertising." That's all it works on.
Heading down
Actually,
Sport.
funny enough, I called Sky to cancel my subscription today. It took a lot of hard persuading, and they were like, "Oh no, don't cancel it yet. You still got this much left, whatever." Do you know what? One of my favorite shows actually on football is actually watching the old goal show with the reporters who used to do that. They had, you remember with Jimbo and on the Champions League goal show? That was actually my favorite football show, and then they got rid of Jimbo and put some other knob in
Are you on
there.
about the one where Chris Kamara's going, "What? Who's been sent off? Oh, I must have missed that." Those kind of reporting things.
Yeah, it's like that, but it's
What
the
a
Champions
legend that
League.
man was.
It's the Champions League one, and they actually show the games, and the reporters are watching and talking us through the game.
But the one they had on BT Sports with AC Jimbo and that lot.
AC
Brilliant.
Jimbo,
They cancelled it.
They got rid of Jimbo. They tried to change the format. People said they're not going to watch it anymore, so they changed the format back, but they still took Jimbo off, and they put that. I forgot
because that's an intelligent football show with proper fans, not ex-players, people who know what they're on, like journalists, and it's really good.
And you know what? It's quite it's quite interesting that we're speaking about all this. They speak about Arsenal like we've lost like 4 games in a row or something. We've lost like 1 game in like 18, which is crazy.
It's like last season. Do you remember last season when we was like 8 points behind Liverpool and we beat them at home? And everyone thought we was going to lose against Liverpool, and we beat them. And then obviously we went on that mad run and Liverpool dropped off. No one ever talks about Liverpool bottom in the league being 8 points ahead, but they'll mention Arsenal bottom in the league to Man City. It's just ridiculous, isn't it? But
it's
like we said,
who was talking about? One of these pundits were talking about Arsenal. Someone came up with it last week. They were like, they don't have the mentality or something, like some stupid thing about not having the mentality. And I'm like, yeah, but we haven't. None of these top 4 teams or top 6 teams have beaten us in like a season and a half or like 2 seasons, something like that.
Oh yeah, here's the stat for you. Arsenal v the Big 4. In Premier League games, Man City haven't beaten us in 4. Liverpool, Chelsea, and Spurs. Well, Spurs shouldn't be in there. And Liverpool and Chelsea haven't beaten us in 5 because Spurs are not part of the Big 5. You can't be part of the Big 5 if the last time you won the league was 1961, and the last thing you won in the last 15 years is the League Cup.
Yeah, so it's just. Do you know what? The league is just distorted anyway. Let's be honest, because there's just an elephant in the room in this league, which is a team that has gone 33 games unbeaten. 33 games. They haven't lost since December last year. And everyone just goes like, oh, yeah, that's fine. It's just normal. Yeah. And then everyone else gets judged based on that. But they're just like, I wouldn't be surprised if they win the league by 10 points this year without even blinking an eyelid. Not because we've done anything wrong or anything like that. You know, there's only a certain amount of points you can drop if you're going to catch Man City. So we as fans have just got to accept that. We've already dropped how many have we dropped? 7 or more than that?
Lost to Bournemouth, drew with Liverpool, drew with Brighton.
More than that, yeah. And drew with Man City as well.
Yeah.
I think you can only drop 24 points if you want to reach like 90 or something weird like that. We've already dropped like 9 or something like that. So we just got to be we just got to be careful, because I was hoping, my biggest hope this season was that Man City, other teams would beat Man City. Other teams will take points off Man City. They've had a good run, to be fair. They haven't really played anyone hard. They do have a little bit of a tough run, but funny enough, their tough runs are not like where we've had to play 3 or 4 teams that are hard back to back. Their tough runs are like they play 2 good teams, then they've got a rubbish team, 2 good teams and a rubbish team to help them along. But they've gone 33 games unbeaten, and they who's going to beat them? That's my biggest question. They cannot get to 49. That's why that last minute John Stones goal just pisses me off. They cannot get to 49 and they cannot go the season unbeaten.
Well, look what happened to the Wolves manager when he pointed it out. That he's now going to get fined and suspended because you can't even say anything against them.
Yeah, it's a bit scary. It's a bit scary. Well, they should have lost, but they haven't.
Let's talk about something a little bit nicer, shall we? We've got Jack, the tree killer, wheelchair, as we can see on the screen on the left-hand side. It's Jack at about 12 years old with a big tree behind him. And then now Jack recently as a trainer, head of the under-18s. Karl, he's now decided to go and be a first-team coach at Norwich. What do you make of that?
Well, that's him. Listen, he's dealt with the under-18s and now he wants to go and try out with the first-team squad. So good luck to him. I think everyone would love a fairy tale of an ex-player coming back and managing Arsenal. I think it's what every club kind of wants, isn't it? Like, I think the fairy tale one day was, for someone like Vieira to come and manage us, or Thierry Henry to manage us. And at the moment, we've got Mikel. Whether he'll come back and manage Arsenal, who knows? We don't know. It depends. He needs a manager's job, not just being a first team coach. But good luck to him. He's going to go and manage a man's squad, and hopefully come with tactics, and we'll see what happens with him. He might get a manager's job or head coach job somewhere. We'll see. But he's one of our own, isn't he? He's just Jack Wilshere, one of our own. So, but good luck to him. I hope he goes, and I hope he's a genuine success at Norwich. I really do, and I hope he does well, and I hope he does get a manager's job somewhere, and maybe one day down the line he does come back and manage Arsenal when it's a success of us.
At the moment, Femi, Norwich are, I'm just looking at the table, they are 8th in the Championship. They're 10 points behind Sunderland. Sunderland are going to run away with that league. Good for Sunderland after those years of those documentaries where all their players just left the club. But yeah, it's a tough time for Norwich because you go down and you don't automatically bounce back up. Then you start to have to let go of some of your players, the higher earners. And if you don't do it the second season, then you quickly become a club that's either going to go bankrupt or have to sell everybody. And then once you sell everyone, all your momentum's gone to get back up again. So it's not going to be easy for him, is it?
Imagine Ipswich and Norwich both in the Premier League at the same time. That would be something.
Oh, the old tractor derby.
That would be something. But yeah, let's see. Hopefully, Jack. It was sad to see him go. He was doing a really good job at the under-18s. I'm sure they're going to miss him. I think they lost their first game without him on Saturday, 3-2. They were 2-0 up. But he did a phenomenal job on the 18, and he has been trying to get not out, but he's been trying to get a first team manager job. I'm kind of glad that he didn't get the jobs that he was going for. I think he went for a job in Scotland, and he went for a job. Yeah, he did. He went for.
Oh no, I'm replying to Anne saying, "Is there stats for it?"
Might have been the Aberdeen job. Someone can correct me. He might have gone for the Aberdeen.
The Aberdeen manager is doing wonders.
Yeah, he might have gone for it because remember, what's his name was manager, wasn't he?
Neil Warnock.
Neil Warnock, and he just left them in the lurch.
Like this, too cold. Headed back down to Cornwall with his Bermudas on.
So yeah, and then he went for the Colorado Rapids job as well. So but I'm glad that he's done a first team coach job, so he can learn the proper way.
Well, my boys in MLS have got Phil Neville as manager. Fucking, we've had a horrendous season. It's disaster.
And he was manager of Miami before, and they've had a great season.
Yeah, now they got rid of him. Well, you got Messi.
Well, I said they got Messi and Suarez. Like, I think any of us could flip in. Yeah, I think any of us could have those from the squad against the American team and win. So
record points in the MLS.
Jeez.
A quick thing. I'm gonna have a couple of quick things before we go. Karl, sticking with you. Our Champions League games so far went to Atalanta and 0-0. Home to PSG, beat them 2-0. And we played Shakhtar Donetsk at home 1-0. So that's 3 games, 7 points, 3 goals scored, no goals conceded. There's nothing to grumble there, really, is there?
No, do you know what? Anytime you win a Champions League game, no matter who it's against, is a achievement. So, we're sitting pretty in the table. The whole table format's shit to me. I'm sorry, I don't understand everything about good games. But do you know what? At the moment, we're sitting in the top 8. So at the moment, we're going to qualify. I think the big test was always going to be PSG at home, which we passed, and Inter Milan's going to be the biggest test of the whole teams we've got to play in the Champions League. And if we can come out with a result there, it'll be great. Inter Milan are a great team and they're doing well in Serie A as well. So we just need to make sure that we get a result there. It's not going to be easy, especially with the injuries, but it's not an excuse. We just need to go to Italy and win. And AC Milan, Inter Milan are not unbeatable. There's a way we can definitely try and beat them, and they've got obviously brilliant players. But we just need to make sure we get a result out there.
Femi, are you going to bring us bad luck when you're away into Milan next week and be the curse, or are you going to have another glorious, what was it, 5-0 we went there a few years ago back in the Wenger days and smashed Inter?
5-1. Yeah, amazing. It's going to be a tough game, though. Let's not kid ourselves. They are Serie A champions, double champions. They got to the Champions League final, 2 years ago now?
Yeah.
They're a really good team, so it's going to be a tough game. Let's see what happens. Funny enough, they just drew 4-4 with Juventus on the weekend.
They did, yes.
So that's crazy.
All I'm hearing is that they conceded 4 goals, so we can get at them.
Well, let's see. Let's attack.
Avon says here, 3 of the clubs we have to still play are all in the top 8. It's a tough draw. Yes. Anosa said, didn't even Ali Adier score in that game? I'm going to say yes, but I've got no idea. One final thing, gentlemen. Upcoming games. Preston away, Newcastle away, Inter away, Femi. How do you see them games going? Can we... First of all, Preston, I want a prediction from both. It doesn't have to be a score, but Hente did this lineup, which is that Setford in goal because Neto is cup tied, Nichols right back, Heaven and Kiwior centre backs, Lewis Skelly left back, Jorginho the holding DM, Nwaneri and Zinchenko central midfield, Cabia, I think he's just made that name up, on the left, Sterling on the right, and Jesus up front. Can you see much change from that? And how do you think we're going to get on?
He's going to go stronger than that. Guarantee
100%.
that.
Yeah, 100%.
It's going to be way stronger than that.
Preston are 16th in the championship.
Are they? They were up to 8th the other day, went off 3-0 up, and then they went 3-3 with Plymouth.
And their home record, played 6, won 3, drawn 2, lost 1, scored 7, conceded 4.
Yeah. We'll see, but I can see Nichols playing. Setford has to play because for some reason we signed a cup-tied goalkeeper, but that's a different story. Heaven is a left-footed centre-back. They would never play him on the right because he's a youngster and you would never make a debut doing that.
Any Blanco for you?
Saliba's playing.
Someone said Saliba's not allowed to play.
He is allowed
he is. It was a one-game ban. It wasn't violent conduct. It was one game.
I think Saliba will play, and probably with Kiwior to give it. Kiwior needs rhythm, doesn't he? Game time.
Yeah.
Gabriel's going to be out. Zinchenko and Skelly is the one I'm really interested in because I think Skelly definitely needs a game, but Zinchenko has to play. So will Zinchenko play in midfield? That is definitely an option. I'll put it like that. He hasn't played midfield for us before, but one of the two of them will play because Miles Lewis is a midfielder anyway. So let's see who gets the midfield gig.
Yeah, one of those. I think.
Yeah,
you have to. I think you have to play.
Jorginho will definitely play. I wouldn't be surprised if Merino plays. Rice cannot play. Saka cannot play. Please, especially Rice.
You're definitely going to start.
Sterling.
Sterling definitely starts. Just depends who plays on the left.
And Jesus definitely starts.
Jesus definitely starts as well. Yeah, 100%.
That's it. We're running out of players.
I would not bring Saka, but Saka will be in the. Saka will definitely be in the squad.
Trossard needs a break because he looks absolutely finished. So
Problem
is
is,
Martinelli going to play?
We just got
Martinelli might play because he came off earlier the other day.
Like I said, we got a thin squad. Our squad is paper thin, and it just shows when against away to flipping Preston North End, you're looking at first teamers and that or people who we don't have like a squad behind our first team because obviously we've got a lot of injuries but at the moment it's just our attacking options are slim to none, unfortunately.
Well, that's filled us all full of hope there, Karl. Thanks for that.
I will still win. Like no matter what team you put out, we'll still win.
How do you feel about the Newcastle away game, Karl?
It's 12:30, isn't it? It's 12:30 on a Saturday. It's never good. Our record at Newcastle's not been the best recently. Mainly because of controversial decisions and things like that. But Newcastle not playing very well. I think they played Chelsea last game and they played absolutely atrocious.
They've got Chelsea tomorrow as well.
Yeah, they got Chelsea again, but they played Chelsea on the weekend and they were not good at all. So
the thing is, Karl, I watched that game and I said, "There's no way they'll ever play like." Why is it? Teams will never ever play like that against us. They were defending on the halfway line with Dan Burn, and Chelsea. All they did was just get the ball deep and ping it long. Get the ball deep, ping it long, straight through the middle of them. Dan Burn wasn't catching anyone. When they come and play us now, they're going to sit the deepest they've ever sat.
Of course, they're going to be at home. They're going to sit deep as like Isak, who I'd love at Arsenal, to be honest.
He wears 14 for a reason, Karl.
There's still a possibility because he's not signing a new contract, and I think they might have to sell him to recoup some funds. So
he's got skills.
Watch this space. But anyway, that's another time. But Isak's still a good player, and he's someone you've got to look out for because for such a tall player, he's got really good feet. Like his feet is really quick and good. So we have to watch out for him. But we should have enough to beat Newcastle. We should definitely have enough about us that we can go to Newcastle and get a result. It's not going to be easy because there's no easy games, but we should no doubt be able to go to Newcastle early doors on a Saturday, set the tone, get a result, and make other teams have to react to us.
Jolly good. Femi, Inter Milan, how do you think that's going to go? Because for me, an Inter Milan fan, Inter Milan, they do pretty well in Serie A the last few seasons because Serie A has been quite poor. Juventus seem to be back. AC Milan are on their arse. And I think it's going to be a tough game. Going away to Inter Milan's never going to be easy, apart from when we smashed them 5-1. But I'd be looking forward to it. And I think if we get a draw, would that be enough?
Yes. I'll take a draw now.
Well, can we have that in writing? Then you won't have to go.
I'll take a draw, not a boring draw.
5-5.
We haven't let in a goal yet, so can't really complain. But I don't know. Take a draw now. It's really. I don't think our fans realize how hard that game's going to be. That's going to take a lot out of us, especially coming from Newcastle and then thinking about going to Chelsea. At least we got a little bit of a break till Chelsea on a Sunday, and they play on I say they play on a Thursday, but they don't even play the same team. They play a totally different.
Yeah, literally no first team players in that squad, boy.
Yeah, so
Maresca was like not.
Well, it'd be nice to see Mkhitaryan playing a decent game on the same field as Arsenal players. It's never happened before.
Does he start?
Oh, he's the one who pulls all the string in the middle. And then you've got Thuram and Martinez up front, two fantastic players. You never get them both playing well at the same time, which is the problem when you play two strikers like that. But they're a decent team. But I think we should be able to go there and definitely get a draw. Karl, what do you think? Do you think we can beat them?
It's going to be a tough ask, and if we lose, I won't lose my shit because they are a very good team. But in order to win the Champions League, we have to play these hard teams, and we have to, try and beat them.
Should we shoot more? Is that what you're saying?
it would be nice if one of our strikers shot more and actually scored, but that's another time podcast. But yeah, it would be very nice if we had players that could actually, strikers that could put the ball in the back of the net. But again, if we lost, I'm not going to lose my shit because Inter Milan are a very good team, and if we win, the confidence boost that will give us will be outstanding. I'll be happy if we go there and we get a result.
As we can see from this list on the screen, going back to the 23rd of December, year of our Lord 2023, up until the Liverpool game at the weekend, Jesus had played 32 games, all competitions for the Arsenal. 1 goal, Femi. Is that a problem?
Oh, 2 goals. 2 goals tonight. Tomorrow, sorry. Who's going to score 2 goals tomorrow? Market.
Against the mighty Preston. If this was 1886, I'd be impressed by that. But unfortunately, it's not. 1888, first ever season of the Football League when Preston did the double. So they were pretty decent then.
So what's it like, Danny, watching them?
Huh?
What's it like watching them?
Oh, it's glorious. Free gloves and hats for everybody. And you had one of those wooden things that you spun around and went click, 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 click. Oh, great days. Great days.
Sorry, I was watching the Inter versus. No, I was watching Milan versus Napoli game, and then I saw Aaron Ramsdale
Napoli
having an absolute
I'm trying to make that
nightmare.
stick.
Ramsdale's having an absolute nightmare in goal for Southampton.
I said this. I mean, well, I know we're going to go quickly, but I said this. Did our defense make Ramsdale look better than he actually was? Because
seemingly
he is atrocious,
all over the place in one of these goals.
I mean, he's really bad.
Yeah, he's just running around like a headless chicken in goal.
Is there any pigeons near him? Because Southampton are going down. There's no two ways about it.
This is the League Cup, so they're not even playing a Premier League team. They're playing
Stoke.
Stoke, yeah. So.
Yeah, I don't know if our defense made him look better than he was. I'm not saying he was a bad goalkeeper for us because he made some important saves, but for every important save he made, he let in some really bad goals.
Another masterstroke by Arteta that he won't get the credit for.
Yeah, and it's just like, I don't know if our defense, like playing behind Williams, Saliba, and Gabriel Magalhaes, like whether it just made him look better than he actually was. Just ridiculous. But he's not our problem anymore. And the problem is, the only problem I've got with Southampton going down is that we're not going to get the £8 million that they asked for him staying up. So, so we actually probably did sell him for like £11 million. Like, it wouldn't surprise me. So, yeah.
And makes a good point.
Arsenal.
Nice if Martinelli could get a shot on target. He loves the running and the crossing and the zigzagging. He says when he gets a shot on target, Havertz was guilty of that at the weekend too. Rudy says a draw at Inter is a good result. A loss is a disaster. And Phil, I haven't even proofread this. No Rami slamming, please. He made some epic saves for us.
He also letting some epic goals as well for us because he can't concentrate for 90 minutes, which the worst interview. That's what sealed his fate. That interview when he went, I can't concentrate for now. Give me a minute and then I'll be back to normal. Bruv, you can't say that. Like, Arteta watched that, was like, what's Raya's number? Like, yeah. So stupid. But yeah, so we go again. We go to is it Deepdale they play? No, that's Derby, isn't it? Deepdale.
No, it is Deepdale.
Oh, it is Deepdale, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That Burnley. I've got no idea.
It's Preston. Deepdale is Preston.
Oh, good.
Burnley's turf more.
That's it. It's all north to me. Right, gentlemen, we are done. Femi managed to stay for the whole show. You choked on your own dribble there. It's lovely to see you again.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Femi. And Karl, we thought we'd never see you again with your gallivanting all around the world. Are you going to be taking up residency in New York anytime soon?
No. See, what happened is I went to go visit Femi and got lost in his West Wing. And if everyone's ever been to Femi's West Wing, it's a trek. Like I had to get a compass to find my way out. I had to leave little breadcrumbs because it's so far, so big. His West Wing. So, but I found my way out, and I'm good.
That's what happened to Jeff Arsenal. He went off to drop off 2 tickets for Femi to the honeymoon suite at the Emirates. Never saw him again. So I don't know. Right, thank you very much, gentlemen. You have both been lovely. It's been a great show. Thank you to everybody who joined in. We might be back for a show next week, but we tend to do these when we all feel like doing one rather than trying to... You can't force a chicken to lay a golden egg every week, can we? So we're back when we want to do one. It's easier that way. Right, and so thank you very much. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. And if you didn't like it, we have been, I don't know, Arsecast. Yeah, go and give them a thumbs down. They need it. All right, then. Hold on. I'm going to put the banner up at the end. There you go. And goodbye.